All right, and well, welcome back. Now for the second part of the show. On my far left over here in the hat is Mr. Jeff Lane from Kingsport.
Hello, everybody.
How y'all doing out there?
Good.
And to my immediate left, Mr. Gary Hensley, also Kingsport-ish area.
Churchill. But
Churchill
hey, close
area. I
enough,
knew there was
close
an
enough.
ish. And well, my name's Chris. I'm from Jonesville, Virginia, but I live in Kingsport. So look at this. Y'all just got invaded by Kingsport tonight.
All right.
Or ish. We're going to do continue with our Veterans Day tribute show. We're all singer-songwriters, and we perform all over the place, and it's nice when we can all be together on stage. Let's get another big hand for Scott, though. That first set was awesome.
Scott is awesome.
Killer, too.
I'm telling you what,
Good stuff.
amazing stuff.
It makes you not want to be the one that kicks this set off because you have to follow him.
Well, we all three have to follow him.
Yeah, this is true. So now, who's going first? Over the course of doing this, we're going to kick off with a song and piece, and then we'll talk a little bit and introduce these guys to you. And who wants to kick it off? You want me to kick it off?
Yeah, kick it off.
All right. Well, this song here is called 1968. This is one of the first songs that I wrote when I come back that got any momentum to it. And when I was growing up, there was this car used to sit beside the road when I was a kid, and local legend had it that the young man that owned it was killed in '68 at Quezon, and his dad put the car up on blocks and it never ran again after that. But he kept it clean and everything. So when I became a school teacher, I'm doing a Veterans Day program, and that story was just bouncing in my head, and started writing this song for that program, and then it just grew life from there. So it's a story about that car. 67 Pontiac, home blocks out in the barn. She's been that way since I was born. When I turned 60, well, man, I had to give it a try. The sad old man came to the door. Now she's a put a battery on her that she'll roll. But I got a promise that I made, and I've kept it every day since 1968. Bought a brand new when he pulled her off the lot. $3,000 he worked all summer for. He washed and waxed it, oh man, he kept his baby clean. Until that day he left for the court. She's a song. You put a battery on her that she'll run. But I got a promise that I made, and I've kept it
I heard you play that song the first night I met you,
Yep.
and I've loved it ever since. It's a great tune, man.
I haven't played it in a while until a couple of days.
You need to play that every time you play out. You know?
I need to.
You need to.
It disappeared from the set, so.
I'm gonna do a song here that it's called "Give a Little Back," and the people in the world right now, we seem to be all about I, me, and people in the military, teachers and preachers and police officers and firemen. They're not about me. They're not about I. They're about we and helping us. And this little song called "Give a Little Back." You're driving home in your Mercedes Benz, well, you pass the dealers out on 2nd Avenue. As the crack houses and smokestacks sing a silent dirge of death, you see the old place that you used to play. You see the old face of a boy that you once knew. Yeah, he's you. I'm not a role model, but there's nothing I could do. You say it over well again and again, but you know down deep it's self-righteous salvation for your soul. It tells you what to do, you can't ignore what you see with your eyes. I'll give a little back, well, you can make a difference. Give a little back, be an inspiration. Give a little back, try and light the fire. Oh, when you give a little back, baby Jeff. There you go. All right. Father Ray runs a church on the corner. You remember him with a smile, a helping hand in a time of trouble. Tell you to pray, to make yourself strong, showed you the way. Truth and life, I'll give a little back. You can make a difference. Give a little back, be an inspiration. Give a little back, try and light the fire up. Oh, when you give a little back, well, you can blow it out, and you can justify it, and you can make excuses, well, 1,000 reasons why. In the end, you know, well, you must decide to answer. Oh, ignore. Guitar man, come on. Jeff Lane on the guitar, everybody. You got to give a little back. Come on and give a little back. You got to give a little back. Come on and give a little back. Come on, come on, come on and give a little back. All right.
That's a catchy song, man.
Good picking there, man.
I couldn't help but jam with you a little.
Oh yeah, I was hoping you would.
All right.
Feel free if the Spirit moves you, man. Just start playing.
Well, Chris will tell you, my golden rule about playing guitar with other people is know when not to play. I've seen that too many times. You get out in these places and people will just play all over everything you're doing, and it just messes up everything.
But he didn't. It was tasty, wasn't it? Good job right there.
You got to look for the
Good
open
stuff.
spaces if you're going to do anything. So I came here tonight thinking, I really didn't know what I could go into on the veterans side, and I really thought about it a lot this week, and I realized some of my songs, even though I'm more of a soul and mountain kind of writer, I guess, some of my songs really are tied to veterans. Really, I'm going to play one kicking off that I have not played in a long, long time. This may sound awful, but I had a really good friend. I used to be in the restaurant business, and he was a crusty old chef. He was really, really crusty, and a lot of people didn't like him. A lot of people loved him that knew him really well. His name was Eric Soul, and years ago, he was a Navy guy, and he was cooking in the Navy and stuff, and he got out, got married, and spent a bunch of time working in big like hotel chains and stuff. Got really good at what he was doing. And then he worked for me during some restaurants that I used to do. Last time was at a place called Bonefire in Kingsport, and a Kingsport grocery. And when the recession hit, it knocked all of us out of everything, and he finally found some work for a little while. And his wife, Connie, who also used to work for me for a while, ended up passing away. And he just never was the same after that. It was like it was his life. I didn't even realize how much she meant to him. And shortly after she passed away, he brought me these two really beautiful sombreros, and told me this little story about how they got them down in Mexico many years ago, and he just couldn't have them around anymore, And one day he stopped by my office and wanted me to help him with the resume. And I did, and while I was working on it on my computer, he looked up and he saw the sombreros. He said, "Man, I'm glad you still got those little things, And so he left that day, and he seemed a whole lot calmer than I'd ever seen him, because he was always, like I say, he was really crusty, always kind of yakking about stuff. And he left, and that was the end of his life that night, by his own choice. Really, really interesting story. But the song goes out to Eric Soul. It's called Two Sombreros. As the sun sets outside our window, rest here in this easy seat. My eyes are fixed on two sombreros as my finger stirs the ice in my drink. And I'll need no more sun for these eyes. I've seen all that they care to see. Home now, but I'm on borrowed time. Nobody's left here but me. The night we picked them out down in Mexico, we must have been a sight to see. Riding through town, an old motor Winslow, Apache 250cc. And I'll need no more sun for these eyes. All of my nights are free. I'm home now, but I'm on borrowed time. And nobody's left here but me. This tequila takes me back to Jalisco. Agave fields as far as I can see. And as I stare at these two sombreros, I can see you waiting there for me. And I'll need no more sun for these eyes. Just one last cigarette before I leave. I'm home now, but I'm on borrowed time. And nobody's left here but me. I'll be running late. Oh, but I'll see you in a while. 'Cause darling, you're the only sunshine for me. Thank you.
All right, so figure out where we're going here. Jeff, me and you've been playing for what, about 5 years together, something like that?
We play once a month together.
We play once a month. We get one show a month. Me and Gary was doing that, and then the establishment disappeared.
Yep, but it's supposed to open back up here in a...
They're getting ready to open back up, so coming soon to a restaurant near you.
Chris and Gary at the same time.
Now, when you, the same thing I asked Scott, your influences, the artists that you look to when you write. Gary, who would you?
Mellencamp.
I like this.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce. That's how we kind of met.
That's how we met.
You like Mellencamp? I like Mellencamp too. I like kind of like remind me of that Michael Keaton movie. I like pizza. You like pizza? You know, kind of. You know, you know, and then I start, you know, the Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
you know, kind of deal, and you know, listen to him, and then there's this guy Daryl Scott. It's just incredible when I see him play, and he wrote a bunch of songs for Dixie Chicks and Travis Tritt, and seeing him, you just look at him, you go, hey, I want to quit, because that's how good, you know. But then you got to realize that, you know, it's all, you try to write a good song, you know. But yeah, and then of course the Beatles and Stones, just like Scott said, you know, all those. It was funny, like I grew up in the '80s. Well, all my friends were into the new stuff, you know. I was more into the past, you know, the Johnny Cash, you know, Buddy Holly, all those kind of those kind of guys, and I kind of missed the Journey thing and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate him now. I can't sing it, but
I don't think anybody can sing it.
No,
what about you, Jeff?
Well, I grew up, I guess, mostly in the 70s and 80s, a little bit in the 80s, and my mother had one of those 8-foot-long wooden stereo cabinets full of records, right?
I got 2 of them at the house.
Oh, man.
Oh, cool.
So every weekend, my thing was, this is before we had even decent cable, you know. I think we had, the movie channel had just come out, and you could watch like one movie a weekend. And so I would just lay around in her room and just look at these records all the time, and she would play them. And my first, what I call influences, were definitely the Eagles and Jackson Browne and people like that, Bob Seger, and as far as Elton John and Jim Croce, all that era of stuff. And then I started playing guitar in the 80s, which I have kind of a, you'll see in a little while, I have more of a percussion style, and that came from learning to play heavy metal in the 80s, like Dokken and Night Ranger and stuff like that. And so I'm just kind of a mixed bag. But nowadays I really I'm really into the John Prine kind of stuff, and Daryl Scott, and of course Steve Earle, that kind of stuff.
Cool. And I think with all of us that you end up liking somebody, then you look at who influenced them, and then you start listening to them. And
So
then
who are
influenced
your influences?
Well, if anyone in East Tennessee does not know that I'm a huge Springsteen fan, No, Bruce.
You couldn't tell by that song 68.
No, not at all. I started out with a song about a car. I don't know anybody else that does that.
No.
Bruce and Mellencamp, but my main one was my dad. Dad played the whole time I was growing up, so that got me into it. And then through Dad, I discovered Creedence and the Stones and the Beatles and Buddy Holly and Roy Orbison. And then later on, started to appreciate Tom Petty a lot more. And then we lost Tom, and you realize how amazing a writer he was, because the best songs he ever did were the ones that were never on the radio. And it seems like, as a songwriter, that's what you'll discover, is the best songs are never on the radio. Well, let's get back to the music. That's enough talking. I want to do this song. This is one I don't play a lot anymore either. Song's called 4th of July. When my wife has a friend who did 5 combat tours in Afghanistan as a ranger. That's a lot. And come back and was ready for a 6th. And they said, no, we don't want you no more. And for some people, that's hard, because that's all he knew. And she hadn't heard from him in years. And then we're coming back from vacation, and she gets this message from him. And they start this dialogue back and forth. So we get home, and there was a situation, and we couldn't go in our house. And I had bought a guitar while we were on vacation, because, you know me, I never buy guitars. And I was sitting there on the porch, and I started coming up with this song, because I was thinking about what he was going through, and about how our grandfathers went through that coming back from World War II in Korea, and our parents dealt with that in Vietnam, and what my father-in-law dealt with. And when I was in the State Reserve, I served with some guys that had those scars that you don't see on the outside. And one of the common threads between all of it was that when the 4th of July came around, getting away from the fireworks, that the fireworks would set off memories, and that those scars became really visible during that time. So that's where this song came from. It's called 4th of July.
Who are you? So say you live this land in glory, but you've changed. The price of war was paid by the young. Now your eyes will only see all that you've done. Now I see it all alone. This bottle of pills is my home. My friends don't understand me, or they try. They take the best years of your life and sends you away to fight. And now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. Or on the 4th of July. It was a dream to serve my home from the 12th day of September. Innocence was lost. The day before, when the towers fell, and the promise of peace was shot to hell. And now I see it all alone. This bottle of pills is my home. My friends don't understand me, or they try. They take the best years of your life and it sends you away to fight. And now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. And now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. Tennessee all alone. This bottle of pills is my home. My friends don't understand me, oh, they try. Take the best years of your life and it sends you away to fight. Now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. Now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. On the 4th of July. In 10 years, we're on the Baghdad street. I still want what's pointed at me. I can't sleep with both eyes closed. Now I'm checking over my shoulder everywhere I go. And now I see all alone. This bottle of pills is my home. My friends don't understand me, oh, they try. They take the best years of your life and it sends you away to fight. Now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. And now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. Now there's no more fireworks on the 4th of July. Thank you.
My great grandpa fought in World War I. Then my grandpa fought in World War II, and then I had 2 uncles that fought in Vietnam. And my grandpa, I moved in with him. My mom and dad and my grandparents decided to build a big house together. So in 1977, I got to have my grandpa right down the hall from me on his side, and he would always tell stories, and he would always try to keep the war stuff light because he didn't really want to let us in on really what went on. And he always said that you know, if he got back, if God let him get back, that he would enjoy his life. And he would always tell me, he said, son, live your life how you want to live it and enjoy it because it goes by fast. And I was driving over here with my wife, and Elizabethton is the first, kind of like my second hometown. I first moved down here in 1988 in August, and I went to Milligan College, and this was the first town away from home where I always tell everybody that I grew up in Indiana, but I became a man in Tennessee. And this was the town I became a man in. Matter of fact, there used to be a jewelry store right over here. I bought my wife our wedding ring that, of course, she later tells me she bought it because she kept paying a loan on it. But which is true. But
You picked it out.
yeah, we got married at Southside Christian Church over here, right down the road, and we used to park at Sycamore Shoals and up on the Elizabethton Golf Course, you know. So driving back, I'm thinking to myself, when I hear my grandpa, and I'm going, you know what? I've enjoyed my life. And I've enjoyed my life because if they didn't win from 1941 to 45, I wouldn't be here. We'd be speaking in German right now. And so this song called "Up in the Blue Ridge." This is about my wife and I used to take drives up here, and we still do, because East Tennessee and Western North Carolina is a beautiful place, and this is called Blue Ridge. We took a drive in the mountains, just you and I. Beautiful fall in the Blue Ridge, you know it made us high. We said someday we'd have a cabin in the woods, and we'd grow old and gray. Up in the Blue Ridge where the air is so sweet, up in the Blue Ridge where the earth and sky meet. Up in the Blue Ridge where I first kissed your lips. And I knew that you were it up in the Blue Ridge. Matter of fact, that's where I first kissed her, up on top of Rome Mountain. It was a cold night like that, like today's today. And it worked out.
Why's she turning red?
I don't know, because she's a redhead, maybe. All right, second verse, here we go. A cool breeze was blowing, burning wood in the air. The longer we drove in the highlands, the more that I would stare. 'Cause I could not believe that you were sitting next to me. Up in the Blue Ridge where the air is so sweet. Up in the Blue Ridge where the earth and sky meet. Up in the Blue Ridge where I first kissed your lips. And I knew that you were it up in the Blue Ridge. And by Lake at Moses Cone, I hope we're walking there when we get old. Up in the Blue Ridge where the air is so sweet. Up in the Blue Ridge where the earth and sky meet. Up in the Blue Ridge where I first kissed your lips. And I knew that you were it up in the Blue Ridge. Up in the Blue Ridge. We took a drive in the mountains, just you and I.
That's a dang good song, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. I ain't never heard you do that before.
Yeah, I got told I need to start playing more love songs, so hey, I'm back to the love
All
songs,
right.
man. Back to the love song. Love songs every time.
All right. So,
She was blushing, but not anymore.
I'm going to play, I guess you'd call this a love song. I'm going to lighten things up a little bit. Okay, first I got to ask, who in here has been married more than once? Aha. We got some pros in here. Yeah. How about more than twice? Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Okay, she's competing with me now.
Uh-oh.
How many times? We've been married 3 times or divorced 3 times? All right. Well, I've got you beat just a little bit. I've been divorced 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So anyway, ran across a situation a long time ago, and I was seeing a young lady who really wanted to get married real bad, and I'd already been through it 3 times, and I was a little more hesitant. And one day she said, I've got this great idea. We could save some money and get married in Gatlinburg this weekend. And I just kind of walked downstairs and I thought to myself, I wonder if she knows that I've already been married in Gatlinburg. And she didn't. So this is about getting married in Gatlinburg again. We're headed up to the mountains, me and my pretty gal. We're gonna wish in a fountain, stay in a fine motel, the kind with a view and a hot tub, a king-size heart-shaped bed. Well, I may never get this chance again. I took off work a little early so we could have time to spare. Figured I'd take the back roads, my baby could fix her hair. I got a sweet deal on the chapel, 'cause I'm a returning guest. Yeah, this time is bound to be the best. She just wants to get married, she can hear the wedding bells. Some folks think I'm crazy, coming back for another round. It's a Smoky Mountain, 2 for 1, but it sure beats living in sin. So I'm getting married in Gatlinburg again. I've always wanted me a girlfriend who thinks I'm debonair, one I could take home to mama with a New York City flair. And now she's here with this coupon, and it barely seems real. I never thought I'd get this good a deal. She just wants to get married, she can hear the wedding bells. Some folks think I'm crazy, coming back for another round. It's a Smoky Mountain, 2 for 1, but it sure beats living in sin. So I'm getting married in Gatlinburg again. Well, I've been down this old road a time or two before. Now I think I finally found the one, although she's number 4. Well, I can't wait till tomorrow when I'm a married man. We'll skinny dip in the hot tub and talk about our plan to break the news to her family and hope that they will see. But either way, you're gonna get a free DVD. She just wants to get married, she can hear the wedding bells. Some folks think I'm crazy, coming back for another round. It's a Smoky Mountain, 2 for 1, but it sure beats living in sin. So I'm getting married in Gatlinburg again. Well, I'm getting married in Gatlinburg again. No more football at Hooters with my friends.
That's another one I hate following. So I'm like all the time telling one-liner jokes and doing the whole Chandler Bing thing, I guess, off of Friends. That's what people called me back in the day. But I cannot write a funny song to save my life. I cannot get one to come out. So I'm not going to bring it down, though. I'm not going to do that. This song's called Western Sky. I wrote this thinking about, seems like nowadays we concern ourselves with some of the silliest stuff in the world, and we forget to just look around at how beautiful that this nation and everything about it great it is. It's just, I mean, we live in the most beautiful place on the planet. But I know when I was a kid, it was an ancient time when there was no internet. And you had to watch like a John Wayne movie to see the Old West or something, you know. Either that or you had to have enough money to get out of Southwest Virginia to go, and none of us did. So thanks to John Ford, we got to see this stuff. So I always wanted to go out west, and when I finally got the chance, I realized that it's just as beautiful in real life as it is right there when you see it on the screen. So that's what this song's about. This is about just wanting to go out west and be a cowboy.
I've seen the western mazes, I've seen the canyons deep and grand. I slept beneath those Joshua trees, pretty good living on the land. It's written through the Dakotas, Cheyenne to the Canadian line, driven across the Rio Grande, been driving most of my life. Underneath the western sky, that's where fortunes lie. Underneath the western sky, that's where I'll hang my hat tonight. Crushed the snow in Colorado. Got in trouble in Old Tombstone. Strike it rich out of California. But Lord, I never found gold. And underneath the western sky, that's where the fortunes lie. Underneath the western sky, that's where I aim a hat tonight. Oklahoma full moon ride. Heading out to Texarkana, and four corners will roll the dice, roll the dice. Gonna let it ride, and I'll be back out that old trail in the morning when I open my eyes. Someday across that Mississippi, when my working days all done, I'll pick up my baby in Tennessee, ride west to the setting sun. And underneath the western sky, that's where the fortune lies. Underneath the western sky, that's where I aim a hat tonight. Oh, yeah. And underneath the western sky, that's where the fortunes lie. Underneath the western sky, that's where I aim a hat tonight. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
I've been a high school teacher, soul stage teacher. This is my 26th year. Can't believe I'm doing it that long. But I've seen it change a lot, but the one thing that hasn't changed is kids still got a lot of problems, and it's a little song called Teacher. Teacher, you gotta help me. I got a problem for you. My girlfriend's late and I think she's pregnant, and I don't know what to do. Teacher, well, I'm so sorry. I didn't get my homework done last night. Was up all night at the county hospital. Mom and Dad had a fight, and you want me to talk about the way we fought the war in 1944. What's the word? What's it really mean if no one plants a seed and bothers to watch it grow? Teacher, can you help me? I got this habit I can't break. I eat it up and it makes me hungry. It gives me shivers and a shakes. Teacher, can you help me? I'm scared to walk down the hall. Johnny brought a gun from home by his own permission, and it's not for show and tell. And you all want me to talk about, well, the way we fought the war in 1944. What's it worth and what's it really mean if no one plants to see and bothers to watch it grow? got so many problems I give to you. Lord, help me to give him something, God, 'cause I don't know what to do.
Wow. Wow, man. That was awesome.
Okay, this song is a little bit controversial in title. It's a really good story, I think. Anybody here ever had like just totally realistic dreams of talking to Jesus? Well, I have. And I got to thinking, you know, how I definitely love Jesus, and I've got I drink a lot of beer. That's one of my vices, you know. And I've never felt like that keeps me from Jesus in any way. Sometimes actually it makes me probably talk more and more honest. But I had this revelation one night about 1 o'clock in the morning right before I went to bed, and ended up staying up all night. All this stuff just fell into my head. And it's a story of, and it didn't really happen, but it's this kind of story that could have happened. And it's about a fellow that's had some issues in his own life, and driving around drinking beer, and just kind of found that connection he needed again. It's called Me and Jesus Having a Beer. Hope y'all like it. It's just one of those nights I was driving around. Somehow I ended up on the other side of town. I pulled into a church parking lot. The only soul there left to be found. The sign said, "Come as you are, you're always welcome here." So I parked under the light and I opened another beer. I was just sitting there reading the label when I heard a familiar voice in my ear. He said, "Son, I'm glad to see you back. I hope you brought enough for two." I offered him a cold one. He said, "I don't mind if I do." That's all right. Here's to a pretty night. We talked all about the broken pieces of my life, my 5 minutes of fame, and about all my ex-wives. Well, I got over them, but talking about the kids must have plucked out my eye. I put on my sunglasses and I blamed it on the light. Truth is, I guess I didn't want him to see me cry. We were just sitting there in the car, him and me, and my pride. Here's to the salt in your eyes, son, and your sordid past. But you can take it from me, sometimes we all end up on our ass, and it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Here's to a pretty night. That old church lit up like a Victrola jukebox, and I heard music inside. When I woke up, all my empty cans were gone. I felt rested. Been a while since I slept that long. I had this crazy idea in my head for a song, a song about me and Jesus having a beer, just the two of us and a 98 Cavalier. We were navigating through times that weren't quite so clear. Sometimes you need a father, and sometimes you need a friend. If you can take that advice from me, then you can make it up to them, and it'll be alright. Here's to a pretty night. If you have any more questions, son, just stop by anytime. Anytime, day or night. Oh, it'll be alright. Thank you.
All right, so this is a new song. I teach middle school. I teach them before they get to Gary.
I just realized something.
He gets him warmed up.
I am the
They
only.
get me warmed up.
I'm the only. I just realized I'm the only performer here tonight that's not a school teacher or a harmonica player.
Neither one of us have played a harmonica yet.
I know, but you both got them right there, man.
Because if I didn't
ready
have
to.
them, I'd need them.
You're the only lead player up here, though.
This is true. Yeah. Sitting there, you remember your students, you have them when you had them. So when you find out they're like 19 and they're in the Marines or they're in the Navy or they're stationed overseas, you don't see them as like that 19, 20, 21-year-old. For me, I see that 12-year-old kid that was in the back of the room that I had to yell at all the time, that is now a sergeant yelling at people himself. And, you know, and it's an amazing thing. And pieces fall together sometimes. And in June, we had the 75th anniversary of invasion of Fortress Europe, the Normandy invasion. And I was thinking about how that morning, jumping out of C-47s and Dakotas were 18 and 19-year-old kids like the ones that I've taught. We're just jumping into this black abyss of Nazi-occupied Europe. And that's where the characters in this story are when it starts. They're on one of those planes flying off. It's called See You on the Other Side.
Come on, Joe, lace up your boots. You know that it's about time. Let's go. see you on the other side. Step up to the door, we'll wait a time. There's nothing below us but night. For a moment we'll fly. I'll see you on the other side. So quickly we'll rise, slowly we'll fade. From the abyss there rose holy hail. Like leaves in the wind, praying us fighting in. We can go home again. So get ready, Joe, here comes the ground. The battle, it's raging all around. I'll turn to fight, and I'll see you on the other side. She'll lose each other, the smoke and the flames. I'll find you, brother, come the light of day, just survive. I'll see you on the other side. Those boys out there like me and you, they're scared half to death, but they got a job to do. Like leaves in the wind, praying us fighting in. We can go home again. And all this confusion, didn't know what happened to you. We lost so many of our friends. And a few days later, heard that you didn't make it. There goes what might have been. So hello, Joe, thought I'd stop by. 'Cause the living you did, and I don't know why, oh why. But I'll see you on the other side. Lying here with all of them brothers underneath those stones of white. Oh, why? I'll see you on the other side. Oh, I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
That's awesome. Kill it. I grew up in, like I said, my teenage years was in the 80s, and my cousin got accepted to the Air Force Academy, and I went through this stage where I wanted to be like him. Me and my buddy Eric, we went and saw Top Gun 3 times, and wanted to be Navy aviators. You know, I feel the need for speed. You know what I mean? But my math grades were horrible, so I was told that I would have to go to a prep school, and I probably wouldn't make it through. So I started playing music, and so I went from, you know, wanting to fly jets to peace, love, and happiness, play guitar. You know. But Eric, on the other hand, he was good in math, and he had a recruiter tell him, listen, son, if you want to be able to fly jets, here's what you do. You sign on the dotted line, you join up as an enlisted man, and you serve first. And then what you'll do is you'll be able to go to officer training school. Well, that didn't end up happening. So he ended up, instead of flying jets, he was the guy that hooked him up on the aircraft carrier. And he told me stories about how they have to hold on to him, because that intake will suck you up into the jet engine. And so he said you're floating in air while a guy holds on to you, and you hook the thing on there. You know, so he stayed for about he did a stint for 4 or 5 years and got out, because he was like, you know, and he also told me that when a plane hits, if that steel cable breaks, it will come and just, who's ever out there, just cut them in half. He said it was the most dangerous place, you know, you could be. And But he still looked good, and women loved him, man. He looked like Tom Cruise. He had that short hair. You know, he had a six-pack. I had a keg. But we would always, you know, we'd go cruising sometimes, and we'd always hang around him because we knew that, you know, he attracts pretty women. And so, you know, where there's one pretty girl, there might be two or three, and maybe we can get the one he didn't want it, you know. But this is a song about Eric. I got to see him a couple years ago. We were walking down a trail up at Linville Falls, and I looked down. My dog wanted to go down and jump in the water, and so I went down there, and there he was with his mom. And I'm like, here in the middle of North Carolina, there you are. And so, but anyway, this song called "Goodbye, My Amigo." It's got a lot of Top Gun references in it. How you were quite a magnet for all those beautiful girls. Well, they throw that stuff at you and try to ride your tilt-a-whirl. Ah, we all sat back, took notes and watched the show. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. We saw Top Gun that summer at least 3 or 4 times. Wanna be mavericks, looking good and in our prime. Wore Ray-Ban aviators wherever we go. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. Well, I hope you're doing fine wherever you are. Going Mach 4 with your hair on fire up to the stars. And I'm glad to have known you and been your Rio. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. I'm glad I got to see you. Yeah, one last time. Up in North Carolina, by the water and the pines. We would have talked a little longer if only we'd known. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. Well, I hope you're doing fine wherever you are. Going Mach 4 with your hair on fire up to the stars. And I'm proud to have known you and been your Rio. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. Ah, goodbye, my amigo. And Eric passed away in December of a stroke and sleep, man. And that was the last time I got to see him. So.
But you got to see him out there?
In the middle of nowhere. I ain't seen him in a while, and we were right there in the middle. It was Providence, I think, so divine intervention. It's pretty wild.
So my grandfather was a Korean vet, and before that was in the very end of World War II. And he raised a great family. My dad and uncle, both way better men than I am, both served. I never did serve. Just never happened in my life. But always had mad respect for them. My granddad passed away when I was just I think I was in middle school. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I've got this all backwards. That was the other grandfather. This grandfather passed away after I had my second daughter. And like the day after he got to hold her is when he passed away. But my grandmother lived on for a long, long time. And just last year, she was in a nursing facility for a little over a year. And she would occasionally tell me that she could remember having dreams in her house when she was still there about him coming to check on her, right? And like it would be just real. She could still smell the Brute 33 and high karate aftershave and all that stuff. And I don't know, when I was at the nursing home, the first day she went there, it was supposed to be recovery because she'd broken her hip. So she asked me to bring her some French vanilla coffee, right? Or with the French vanilla creamer. So I did. And make a long story short, a year and a few months later, that became my thing every morning on my way to work. I had to take her the coffee because you can't just stop taking your grandma coffee in the morning. And so toward the end, she just kind of, all of a sudden one day she said, I don't drink that anymore, you know. And she was so matter of fact about it. And I said, well, why not? She said, well, dead people don't drink coffee. I'm dead. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, you didn't know I died? And she started telling me all this wild stuff about, you know, things I couldn't even believe. But she was there, and she believed it. And she was an extremely Christian lady, you know. And I just went along with it. I said, well, I'm going to keep bringing the coffee. And, you know, as long as you're still hanging out here, is it okay if I still come and talk to you in the morning? She said, yeah, of course. So anyway, she finally got to go home to Grandpa. This is my story about her. It's called Moving On. They say I've had a real good life with family and friends. I can't remember them now, but I feel their hands. The spoken words I don't hear well anymore. Time is louder than ever before. As I roll around so slow, with nowhere to go, I know this place ain't my home. Soon I'll be moving on. Moving on. All of us out here in this long white hall, with broken down bones, we must seem so small. Behind these cloudy eyes and this drawn up face, man I used to be. Better place. Now outside room 304, I wait by the golden door that doesn't touch the floor. Soon I'll be moving on. I'll be moving on. Soon I'll be moving on. I'll be moving on. Thank you. I'd say so, yeah.
All righty. Well,
4 minutes, so.
we got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Well, I guess I could, I can do one
Take
more.
one more,
Yes,
go
all right.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, how about a big hand once again, Scott Wild, big hand for
Absolutely.
Scott, man. Fantastic, unbelievable, Mr. Jeff Lane,
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Gary Hensley.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for coming
Good
out
long,
tonight.
everybody. Good long.
But thank you all for coming out tonight, and once not only for our Veterans Day celebration, but to support this wonderful theater. We want to see this theater become what it used to be again and be back to its glory. People don't realize what they got until it's gone. This song here is called Liberty. I want to end this one because sometimes I think too many people forget. They focus on the bad, not the good. This is the greatest nation in the world, and there will never be one better. And that's what this is all about.
Bring me a time you're innocent and weak. Bring me a mask longing to be free. Bring me the outcast from war and the light. You can rest easy, brother. You can sleep in peace tonight. Come to my shores, there's room for us all. Together we stand, and divided we fall. You can run from a fight, but you gotta bleed to be free. Rose of white stone, pay the price for liberty. Those rolls of white stone, pay for liberty. Bring me the lost, misfits and the down. I can give them reason to turn and stand the ground. Send me the righteous, persecuted for belief. You can take the path you choose, cause it give you liberty. You can take the path you choose, here's liberty. Rolls of white stone, baby, liberty. Send me your dreams, you're sick and scarred. No matter what color, red blood's in the hearts. Won't you bring me the old and the young and in between? Don't matter who you are, cause I give you liberty. It don't matter who you are, here's liberty. Take the path you choose, here's liberty. Those rules of white stone, baby, liberty.
Well, thank you all very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom, for the awesome sound, man.
Thank you. Awesome.
That did wonderful up here.